Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at the Osha fact sheet, the occupational safety hazards, and the health effects of hexavalent chromium. As we know, hexavalent chromium can also be called chromium 6, and it is a carcinogen. It's also a toxic form of the element, and it is man-made largely from different industries, especially when there's an improper way of dealing with industrial waste. And some major industrial sources of hexavalent chromium are pigments, dyes, paints, inks, and they're also as anti-corrosive agents to paints, primers, and other surface coatings. Plating by disposing chromium metal on the item surface using a solution of chromium acid, particles released during the smelting of ferrochromium ore, fume from welding stainless steel or non-ferrous chromium alloys, and impurity present in Portland cement. Also, breathing small amounts of hexavalent chromium for long periods does not cause respiratory aeration, though some employees may become allergic to hexavalent chromium, so inhaling compounds can cause asthma symptoms like wheezing and shortness of breath. Now, how does hexavalent chromium harm employees? Well, workplace exposure to hexavalent chromium may cause the following health effects: lung cancer in workers who breathe in airborne hexavalent chromium, irritation or damage to the nose, throat and lung or respiratory tract if the hexavalent chromium is breathed at high levels, irritation or damage to the eyes and skin if hexavalent chromium contacts these organs in high concentrations. However, some employees can also develop allergic skin reactions called allergic contaminant dermatitis, and this occurs from handling liquids or solids containing hexavalent chromium. And once an employee becomes allergic, brief skin contact causes swelling and red, itchy rash, and it becomes a crusty and thick and prolonged exposure. Also, allergic contact dermatitis is long-lasting and more severe with repeated skin contact. Now, how can they be also exposed to it? As an airborne exhalant, they can also be exposed to it through dust, fume, mist, and through producing these powders, acid, catalyst, dyes, also working near chrome electroplasting, wielding, hot working, and also applying or removing chromate-containing paints and surface coatings. And it can also be found in the water as well. The new Osha workplace standard requires a limit to 8-hour works for hexavalent chromium exposure in the workplace to 5 micrograms or less cubic meter of air. The periodic performance monitoring at least every 6 months if initial monitoring shows employee exposure above action levels of 2.5, and provide appropriate personal protective clothing as well. They also need to prohibit employee rotation as a method to achieve compliance with exposure limit, provide respiratory protection, make available medical examinations to employees within 30 days of initial assignment as well, and to those who experience signs. So that is some of the basics of how Osha deals with chromium exposure. And as we can see, you can also breathe this in, but it can also be present in your water as well. So with that being said, it's always a good idea to protect your employees in every way. It's a good idea to protect them through making sure that they don't breathe it in or they don't manifest signs. And it's also a good idea to protect them by having the water periodically tested for hexavalent chromium due to its effects on the immune system.